A lot of good people start their day with what sounds like a smart choice. A big glass of fruit juice, sweet coffee with flavored creamer, bottled detox tea, or an immune drink that looks clean and natural. They do it because they're trying. They're trying to be healthier. But for many adults, especially if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or early kidney disease, this one small decision can become a daily stress test your kidneys never asked for.
And that's important because diabetes and high blood pressure are the two most common causes of chronic kidney disease in adults.
Why mornings are a kidney vulnerable window. Think of your kidneys like the body's high-end filtration and balancing system. All day long, they're filtering your blood, managing fluid levels, and helping control blood pressure. But first thing in the morning, they're working under different conditions. You've been sleeping 6 to 9 hours. No water coming in. You're naturally a bit dehydrated. And even mild dehydration can temporarily reduce kidney blood flow and make creatinine look worse because less blood is getting filtered efficiently. So your kidneys wake up already needing support. Now imagine the first thing you pour into that dry system. A sugar-heavy drink. A highly acidic drink. A strong caffeinated drink. Or an herbal drink that acts like a diuretic, meaning it pushes fluid out. It's not that any of these are evil in general. It's that timing matters. It's like asking an exhausted employee to run a marathon before they've had breakfast. No, it won't destroy them in one day. But if you repeat it every morning for months or years, it can quietly speed up decline, especially if your kidneys are already under pressure from blood sugar or blood pressure. Now, let me be very clear, because I want you to trust me. No drink is a magic cure for kidney disease. If someone promises you, do this one thing and your kidneys are healed, that's not honest. But here's what is true. The first drink you choose each morning can help set the tone for your whole day. Hydration, blood pressure, stability, inflammation, and how hard your kidneys have to work right away. And when people choose a smarter first drink consistently, they often see steadier labs, less swelling, better energy, and fewer bad days. That's what we're focused on today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 morning beverages that can be kidney supportive for many adults over 55, especially when used correctly. What they do, who they're best for, and who should be careful because yes, some healthy teas can interfere with medications or fluid restrictions. And I'll keep this practical. No confusing medical talk. Just clear, calm guidance like you'd hear from a good health coach who actually wants you safe. Here's what we're going to cover next. The number 1 simplest morning drink that helps many people hydrate better and why it matters for kidney blood flow. A gentle tea option that supports fluid balance without stripping you the way some water pills can. A circulation-supporting morning drink that some people notice in their energy and mental clarity. A blood pressure-friendly tea, because kidney health and blood pressure are tightly connected. A calmer alternative to sugary coffee that supports inflammation control. A simple herb tea, often used for uric acid and stones, with an important safety note for kidney pain.
A mineral-rich tea that can be soothing for some, but again, we'll talk about who should avoid it.
And throughout, I'm going to give you common sense rules, so you don't accidentally do the wrong thing. What to avoid adding, like sugar and creamers. How long to wait before breakfast, and when you should absolutely talk to your doctor first. For example, if you're on blood pressure meds, diuretics, blood thinners, or you have a fluid restriction. Because your kidneys don't need hype. They need a steady, consistent routine that reduces daily strain. Now, let's start with the first option. The one that costs pennies, takes less than a minute, and helps many older adults stop starting their morning in a dehydrated deficit. Drink Hashone, lemon water with an optional tiny pinch of salt. If you hear lemon water, you might think this is just another internet trend. But the real benefit here isn't hype, it's biology. When you wake up, your body is typically mildly dehydrated. Your kidneys are trying to concentrate urine and rebalance fluids. So the smartest first move for many adults over 55 is simply rehydrate gently before you add caffeine, sugar, or anything that spikes your system. Lemon water helps in 2 practical ways. It makes plain water easier to drink consistently. A lot of people don't drink enough in the morning because water feels boring, or they go straight to coffee. Lemon adds flavor, which often improves consistency, and consistency is where the benefit lives. Citrus provides citrate, which can support kidney stone prevention in some people. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases notes that lemon and lime juice are high in citrate, which can help keep crystals from clumping together to form stones. Mayo Clinic also highlights that beverages high in citric acid like lemon or lime can be beneficial for kidney stone patients, alongside the basic goal of increasing total fluid intake. So if you've ever dealt with stones or your doctor has warned you about them, lemon water can be a reasonable, low-cost habit when it fits your health situation. What about the pink salt part? This is where I want to be especially honest, because trust matters more than trends. A tiny pinch of salt in morning water may help some people feel better hydrated, particularly if they're coming off a sweaty night, they exercise early, or they tend to feel lightheaded when they stand up quickly. If you have high blood pressure, swelling, heart failure, or you've been told to limit sodium, you should be cautious with any saltwater habit, even if it's pink. The American Heart Association recommends limiting sodium to no more than 2,300 milligrams day, and ideally 1,500 milligrams day for most adults, especially those with high blood pressure. So here's the practical, safe way to think about it. The main benefit is the water. The lemon is a helpful add-on for many people. The salt is optional and not appropriate for everyone. How to do it? The kidney-friendly version. Here's the practical recipe I recommend for most people. Option A. Lemon water. Simple and safe for most. 12-16 ounces, about 350-475 milliliters of water. Juice, from quarter to half, a fresh lemon. Stir and sip slowly. Option B. Lemon water plus a tiny pinch of salt, only if appropriate. Same as above. Add a very small pinch of salt. Think, a few grains. Not salt water. Only use this if your doctor has not told you to limit sodium and your blood pressure is well controlled. Timing. Drink it soon after waking. Wait 15-30 minutes before coffee. Ideally, eat breakfast before your first strong caffeinated drink. This one adjustment, coffee after hydration and preferably after food, can be a game changer for many people who feel jittery, lightheaded, or dehydrated by mid-morning. Who should be careful? Important. Lemon water is simple, but there are situations where you should be cautious. If you're on a fluid restriction advanced CKD, heart failure, follow your clinician's plan. If you have uncontrolled high blood pressure or swelling, avoid adding salt. If you have reflux, GERD lemon may aggravate symptoms, use less lemon or skip it. If you have dental sensitivity, drink through a straw and rinse with plain water afterward. Don't brush immediately. And if you're ever unsure, make it even simpler. Plain water first. Your kidneys will still benefit from that choice. If you want the kidney supportive version of a morning routine, here's a simple order many people do well with. Water or lemon water. Light movement, 2-5 minutes. Easy walking around the house or gentle stretching. Breakfast with protein plus fiber, even something simple like eggs plus berries or yogurt plus Chio. Coffee or tea after you've hydrated and eaten. That combination supports steadier blood pressure, steadier blood sugar, and less morning stress on the kidneys. Now let's move to drink #2, especially for those mornings when you wake up feeling a little puffy, your rings feel tight, your ankles look swollen, or you just feel heavy and sluggish before breakfast. This is where many people reach for something that flushes water. But here's the problem. A lot of strong diuretics, whether prescription water pills or aggressive detox teas, can leave you more dehydrated, lightheaded, and depleted if you use them the wrong way. So the question becomes, is there a gentler option that can support urine flow without turning your morning into a dehydration spiral? Drink #2, dandelion root tea. The gentle nudge, not the shove. Dandelion has a long history of traditional use, and modern research suggests it may have diuretic activity, meaning it can increase urination, at least in some settings. One small human study, often cited in the herbal literature, observed increased urinary frequency after dandelion leaf extract over a short time window. It's not a massive trial, and it's not proof of long-term kidney healing, but it does support the basic idea that dandelion can act as a diuretic in humans. Now, important distinction. A gentle diuretic is not automatically a kidney cure. but it may help some people with mild fluid retention, that heavy morning feeling, and a desire to start the day with something warm, non-caffeinated, and unsweetened. And that unsweetened part matters, because what we're really doing is removing common morning triggers, sugar spikes, dehydration, and stimulant overload, and replacing them with a calmer, more kidney-friendly start. Why dandelion root is different from harsh detox teas. Many cleanse teas combine stimulant laxatives or multiple strong herbs that can cause urgent bathroom trips, cramping, dehydration, electrolyte shifts, and, for some people with kidney disease, a genuine risk. That's why kidney organizations routinely warn people with CKD to be careful with herbal products and to check with their clinician or renal dietitian because herbs can affect the body and can also interact with medications. Dandelion root tea, when used moderately and prepared simply, is often used as a milder option. Not a cleanse, not a purge, a nudge. The gut-kidney connection most people don't hear about. Here's the part most people miss, and this is where we add something truly useful. Your kidneys don't work alone. A surprising amount of the waste load your kidneys deal with comes from the gut, specifically from what certain gut bacteria produce when the microbiome is out of balance. Researchers often describe microbiota-derived uremic toxins compounds made in the gut that can build up when kidney function is reduced. Reviews in kidney journals discuss dietary strategies and microbiome-targeted approaches, including prebiotics, as an area of active interest for reducing these toxins. Now, where does dandelion root come in? Dandelion roots are known to contain inulin-type fructans, a form of prebiotic fiber. Prebiotics like inulin can help feed beneficial gut bacteria, and in people on hemodialysis, inulin has been studied specifically because of its potential to reduce certain gut-derived uremic toxins such as indoxyl sulfate and p-cresyl sulfate. That does not mean dandelion root tea is a substitute for quaternary medical care, and it does not mean every kidney patient should use it. But it does give us a smarter way to frame the habit. This drink isn't just about flushing water. It may also support the gut environment, which can indirectly influence the burden your kidneys carry. How to prepare dandelion root tea. Simple, not extreme. If you're using dried dandelion root, add 1 tablespoon dried dandelion root to a small pot. Add 2 cups of water. Simmer gently for 15-20 minutes. Strain. Drink 1 cup in the morning. If you like it warm, but less bitter, you can add a squeeze of lemon or a little cinnamon stick while simmering. But avoid adding sugar or honey if your goal is kidney-friendly, blood sugar-friendly mornings. And here's a practical rule I like. If you're new to it, start with half cup for a few days and see how your body responds. Gentle is the goal. Who should be cautious? This matters. This is where I need you to treat me like a careful coach, not a hype channel. The U.S. National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, NCCIH, notes there are theoretical reasons dandelion could interact with certain medications, including antidiabetes, drugs, anticoagulants, antiplatelets, and diuretics, water pills, among others. NCCIH also emphasizes talking with a healthcare provider because herbs and medicines can interact in harmful ways. So be cautious and check with your clinician if any of these apply. You take prescription diuretics, water pills, additive effects could increase dehydration risk. You take diabetes medications or insulin. Anything that potentially affects blood sugar requires monitoring. You take blood thinners, antiplatelet meds. Interactions are possible in theory. You have advanced CKD with potassium restrictions or have had high potassium. Many herbals can be tricky in kidney disease, and kidney organizations advise caution with herbal products. You're pregnant or breastfeeding. NCCIH notes safety is not well established for higher than food amounts. You have strong ragweed-related allergies. Daisy. Family sensitivities. This can matter for some people.
If any of these apply to you, the safest course of action is not to experiment.
The safest move is to ask your clinician, or simply stick with plain water first and we'll use other kidney supportive options that are less likely to complicate meds. A quick kidney-friendly way to use it. If your doctor okays it, here's the simplest routine. 3-5 days per week, not necessarily every day. 1 cup in the morning, unsweetened. Keep your first hour of the day low stress. Hydrate, breathe, light movement. Because stress hormones can raise blood pressure, and blood pressure control is one of the biggest protectors of kidney function over time.
Now, let's get to drink #3, the one that surprises people because it seems like just a vegetable, but it's
Connects directly to circulation, blood vessel relaxation, and how well your kidneys can filter. It looks like something you'd toss into a salad. But when it comes to kidney support, this drink is less about a trendy cleanse and more about something very basic. Your kidneys depend on every minute of the day. Healthy blood flow. Here's a simple fact most people never hear until they're already dealing with kidney problems. Your kidneys receive a huge portion of your body's blood flow, roughly about 20% of your cardiac output, because they are constantly filtering and balancing fluids. So when circulation is sluggish, when blood vessels are tight, or when blood pressure is running high, your kidneys don't just feel it, they live in it. That's why kidney doctors obsess over blood pressure, hydration, and circulation. Because kidneys can only filter well if they're being supplied well. Drink #3, celery juice, the circulation booster. Celery is not magic, but celery has something going for it that matters for many older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, mild swelling, or early kidney stress. Celery contains natural compounds, often discussed in the research as phthalides, including 3N-butyl phthalide and other plant antioxidants that may support blood vessel relaxation and blood pressure regulation. When blood vessels relax even a little, resistance drops, blood moves more freely. The kidneys get steadier flow, and that can translate into a lower strain feeling in the system overall, especially in people who wake up feeling heavy, puffy, or foggy. A 2024 narrative review on celery and blood pressure describes proposed mechanisms like vasodilation, mild diuretic activity, and other pathways that may support healthier blood pressure. Now, I want to keep this grounded. This does not mean celery juice replaces blood pressure medication. It does not mean celery juice repairs kidneys on its own. But it can be a reasonable morning beverage for some people because it supports the conditions that protect kidneys, hydration, circulation, and blood pressure stability. The kidney logic: filtration follows flow. Let me put it in everyday language. Your kidneys are like extremely sophisticated filters. But even the best filter can't do its job if the water pressure is wrong. In your body, that pressure and flow come from your blood vessels and your heart. And again, because kidneys get such a large share of blood flow, small changes in circulation can matter. That's why when blood pressure is uncontrolled, kidney decline often speeds up. It's a vicious cycle. High blood pressure damages the kidneys, and damaged kidneys can make blood pressure harder to control. So anything that supports better blood vessel relaxation and steadier morning hydration without spiking sugar or overloading caffeine can be a smart direction. But celery has sodium. Isn't that bad? This is one of the most misunderstood parts. Celery juice does contain sodium. According to USDA-based nutrition data summarized by Very Well Fit, 1 cup, 8 ounces, 236 grams of celery juice has about 189 milligrams of sodium.
Not necessarily, especially
bad?
compared to processed foods.
Especially compared to processed foods. But here's the more important issue for many kidney patients: the potassium issue. This is the safety note you must hear. Celery juice can be relatively high in potassium, and for people with chronic kidney disease, especially if you've been told you have high potassium, hyperkalemia, this matters. National Kidney Foundation guidance explains that if you have high potassium, your clinician may advise limiting foods higher in potassium. And nutrition listings commonly show that an 8 ounces serving of celery juice can contain a meaningful amount of potassium. Some databases list it in the hundreds of milligrams per cup. So here's the practical rule. If your potassium levels have ever been high, or you're on a potassium restriction, or you're in later stage CKD, do not assume celery juice is automatically safe for you. This is exactly why kidney organizations repeatedly emphasize individualized guidance on potassium for CKD. How to use celery juice the kidney-friendly way. If your clinician has no concerns about potassium for you, and you want to try it, here's the approach I recommend for adults over 55. Start smaller than the internet tells you. Instead of 16 ounces right away, consider 6-8 ounces on an empty stomach. Wait 20-30 minutes before breakfast. Keep it plain. No sugar, no sweeteners. And if you notice lightheadedness, unusual weakness, heart palpitations, or significant stomach upset, stop and reassess, because those can be signs your fluid electrolyte balance is not happy. How to make it. Wash 446 celery stalks thoroughly. Juice them fresh. Drink promptly. If you don't have a juicer, blending and straining works too. Just remember, straining removes a lot of the fiber. And fiber is one of the most helpful parts of plants for blood sugar and gut health. So if you're someone with diabetes or prediabetes, you might do even better with whole celery in meals, salads, soups, alongside water in the morning, rather than relying only on strained juice. Who should avoid or be cautious with celery juice? Please take this part seriously. Be cautious or avoid celery juice as a daily habit if you have high potassium or are on a potassium restriction. You have advanced CKD and haven't discussed this with your clinician. You're prone to dehydration or already on diuretics, because stacking diuretic effects can backfire. And even if celery juice is appropriate for you, daily is not required. Sometimes the best routine is water daily. Celery juice, 2-4 mornings per week. Focus on blood pressure basics, walking, sleep, lower processed sodium, steady hydration. Now, celery juice can be helpful partly because it supports circulation. But if there's one number that predicts kidney outcomes over time more reliably than almost anything else, it's blood pressure. So next, we're going to drink HASH4, a tea with clinical research around blood pressure support, and we'll talk about how to use it without adding sugar and turning it into the same problem we're trying to solve. When kidney function starts slipping, blood pressure becomes both the warning light and the accelerator. High blood pressure can narrow and damage blood vessels throughout the body, including the tiny vessels in the kidneys, reducing blood flow and harming the filtering system over time. And once the kidneys are stressed, blood pressure often becomes harder to control, creating a loop that can quietly speed up kidney decline. That's why the next drink isn't primarily about detox. It's about calming the pressure so your kidneys aren't being forced to filter under constant strain. Drink HASH4, hibiscus tea, the blood pressure supporter. Hibiscus tea, often made from Hibiscus sabdariffa, also called roselle, has something rare in the world of natural drinks. Human clinical trial evidence showing meaningful blood pressure improvements in people with mildly elevated blood pressure. A well-known randomized controlled trial found that daily hibiscus tea lowered blood pressure in pre-hypertensive and mildly hypertensive adults. USDA also summarized this research in a news release describing blood pressure reduction after regular hibiscus tea consumption. And if you're thinking, okay, but is it just one study? Systematic reviews and meta-analyses have also looked at hibiscus and generally found it can reduce blood pressure, while emphasizing that results vary and more rigorous studies are still needed. So, the most honest way to say it is, hibiscus tea may offer a real, measurable, modest to moderate blood pressure benefit for some people, especially when it replaces sugary drinks and is paired with the basics that truly protect kidneys: sodium reduction, movement, sleep, medication adherence. Why lowering blood pressure protects your kidneys? Let's keep it simple. Imagine your kidney filters are delicate mesh. Blood pressure that runs too high is like blasting that mesh with a fire hose every day. Over time, it creates wear and scarring. NIDDK explains that high blood pressure can damage and weaken blood vessels, including those in the kidneys, and that narrowing reduces blood flow. Less blood flow means less effective filtering, more waste retention, and more kidney stress. So even a small improvement in blood pressure can matter because kidneys are incredibly sensitive to changes in circulation and vessel health. How to prepare hibiscus tea the kidney-friendly way. Here's the method I recommend for most adults. Use dried hibiscus tea bags or dried chalices are both fine. Steep in hot water for 10-15 minutes. Drink 1 cup in the morning, 1 cup later in the day if desired. Optional add-ins: a slice of lemon or a cinnamon stick. Avoid adding sugar or honey if your goal is kidney-friendly and blood pressure-friendly. If you want something especially practical for kidney patients, the National Kidney Foundation even shares a hibiscus tea recipe, Caribbean sorrel hibiscus tea, and lists nutrition per cup, showing relatively low sodium and a moderate potassium level in that recipe context. That doesn't mean every hibiscus tea is identical. Recipes vary, but it's a helpful reference that hibiscus can fit into kidney-conscious patterns when done correctly. Who should be cautious with hibiscus tea? This is critical. Because hibiscus can lower blood pressure, it can also interact with medications or push blood pressure too low in some people. Be cautious and talk with your clinician if you take blood pressure medications, especially if you're already near goal. Hibiscus may add to blood pressure lowering, and some sources specifically flag interactions with common antihypertensives. You take diuretics, water pills like hydrochlorothiazide. There's published research in experimental animals suggesting a potential interaction with hydrochlorothiazide. Even though animal data isn't the same as a proven human risk, it's enough that I recommend medical supervision if you're on a diuretic. You take diabetes medications, or you're prone to low blood sugar. Some resources warn hibiscus may also lower blood sugar, which could increase the risk of hypoglycemia when combined with anti-diabetic drugs. You tend to run lightheaded, especially in the morning. If you already get dizzy when standing up, anything that further lowers blood pressure may worsen it. The safe approach is straightforward. If you're on blood pressure meds, start with half a cup and monitor your home readings for a week, or talk with your clinician first, especially if you're older, on multiple medications, or have kidney disease. The 30% upgrade. The Pressure Protects Kidneys morning routine. If hibiscus tea is your tool, here's the routine that makes it far more effective than tea alone. A. Measure what matters. Home blood pressure. Take 2 readings, 1 minute apart, at the same time each morning for a few days. Write them down. Bring them to your next appointment. This single habit often improves treatment decisions because it replaces guesswork with data. Reduce sodium in the place that actually counts. Most sodium isn't coming from your salt shaker, it's coming from packaged, prepared, and restaurant foods. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams a day, with an ideal target of 1,500 milligrams a day for most adults, especially with high blood pressure. Add a 10-minute walk after breakfast. Gentle post-meal movement improves blood pressure response and blood sugar control, 2 of the biggest kidney protectors for older adults. Don't drink hibiscus tea like a dessert. If you add sugar, you can undo the benefit. Make it tart, warm, and clean. Transition to drink #5. So hibiscus tea is our blood pressure manager. The drink that can help calm the strain on kidney filters by supporting healthier vessel function. Next, drink #5. Green tea with ginger, the anti-inflammatory shield. This combination works for 2 reasons. Green tea brings plant compounds, especially catechins like EGCG, that are widely studied for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. A scientific review specifically focused on EGCG and kidney conditions describes growing evidence that EGCG may have protective effects across various kidney disease models and pathways. Ginger brings gingerols and shogols, natural compounds that have been studied for nausea relief and inflammation modulation. A systematic review on ginger and nausea, vomiting concluded that the best available evidence supports ginger as an effective and generally safe option for nausea and vomiting. Another review discusses ginger's broader anti-inflammatory potential and the role of these compounds. So instead of jolting your body into fight or flight first thing in the morning, green tea plus ginger tends to do something more kidney-friendly. It supports a steadier start, less inflammation, gentler stimulation, and for many people, better digestion. Why inflammation matters to kidney decline, especially with diabetes. Here's a simple way to understand it. Kidney damage is not just wear and tear. In many people, it's also low-grade inflammation that slowly injures delicate tissues over time. That's why diabetes-related kidney disease is so frustrating, because elevated blood sugar and inflammation often travel together. Green tea catechins like EGCG have been studied for their ability to reduce oxidative stress and inflammatory signaling, And the Kidney Focus Review literature explains why researchers keep paying attention to these compounds in kidney disease pathways. I'm not telling you green tea is a drug. I am telling you that choosing a beverage that is less likely to spike sugar, less likely to push dehydration, and more likely to support calmer biology is a smart move, especially in the first hour of the day. So here's the safe rule. If you're on blood thinners, heart meds, or multiple prescriptions, and especially if you have CKD, treat daily large amounts of green tea as something to discuss with your clinician. And remember, ginger can also interact with certain medications, especially blood thinners and diabetes meds, at higher doses, and high amounts can cause heartburn in some people. Transition to drink #6. So drink #5 green tea with ginger is your calm, protective alternative to the sweet coffee on an empty stomach pattern. It supports inflammation control, digestion, and a steadier first hour. Next, we'll move to drink #6, a simple herb tea often used for uric acid and kidney stones, but it comes with an important caution for people on diuretics or blood thinners. Drink #6, parsley tea, the gentle flush, with important cautions. Parsley tea is often promoted as a way to flush uric acid, clean the kidneys, or prevent stones, and you will absolutely hear success stories. But a trustworthy health plan has to do two things at once. Respect what parsley may do. Respect what parsley could do wrong, especially for older adults on medications or with kidney disease. So let's break it down calmly and honestly. Why people use parsley tea in the first place. Parsley has a long tradition in folk medicine as a mild diuretic, meaning it can increase urine output. There is research showing parsley extracts increased urine output in animal studies rats, which supports the basic diuretic claim, at least in that setting. A more recent scientific review also summarizes diuretic findings in animal models and discusses potential mechanisms. So the why makes sense. If you pee a little more, you may reduce fluid retention. If urine flows more consistently, you may reduce how long certain minerals sit in the urinary tract. If you hydrate better and urinate more regularly, you may feel less puffy, less heavy, and sometimes clearer in the morning. That's the reasonable version. But here's the key. A diuretic effect does not automatically mean kidney healing, and it does not automatically mean stone prevention. In fact, a human study on parsley leaf tea found no significant change in urine composition or stone formation risk in that sample, and the authors noted limits in generalizing the results. So parsley tea is best framed as a gentle habit some people tolerate well, not a guaranteed therapy. The uric acid claim, what to believe and what to ignore. You'll often hear, parsley flushes uric acid. Here's the cautious truth. Parsley can increase urine flow in some contexts. Again, stronger evidence in animal studies. Increased urine flow can help the body excrete some waste products more regularly. But parsley lowers uric acid is not the same as parsley treats gout, or parsley reverses CKD. Those are leaps beyond the evidence. So I recommend you keep it grounded in a way that protects viewers. Parsley tea may support urine flow and hydration routines, two basics that matter for kidney comfort. That's a credible claim. The kidney stone twist most people miss. Parsley can be high in oxalates. This is where we need to be careful because it's the opposite of what many people assume. Some reputable kidney stone resources list parsley as a high oxalate food that calcium oxalate stone formers may need to avoid or limit. So if someone has a history of calcium oxalate stones, parsley tea may not be a safe daily stone prevention drink for them. That doesn't mean parsley is bad. It means the right choice depends on the type of stone and the person's urine chemistry. A practical message for your audience over 55 is, if you've had stones and your doctor said calcium oxalate, ask whether you should limit high oxalate foods like parsley. If you don't know what type of stone you had, don't assume parsley tea is the answer because different stones have different dietary strategies. That's what safe, science-respecting advice sounds like. Now, let's move to drink #7, which many people love because it feels nourishing and mineral-rich, but it also needs a clear who should avoid it section for kidney safety. Drink #7, Nettle leaf tea, the mineral tonic. Nettle, often Urtica dioica, has been used traditionally in Europe for centuries, and it's recognized in formal herbal monographs in parts of Europe for its use as a tea for diuretic irrigation therapy. Basically, supporting urine flow as part of supportive care for urinary tract issues. That matters because it tells us something practical. Nettle tea is not just a folktale. It has a documented history of use as a supportive diuretic
clearly
preparation.
demonstrates the
But the
significant
reason nettle is the
nutritional
mineral
value
tonic
of the
isn't only
nettle.
about urine flow.
As you can see,
It's also about its nutritional profile. Scientific reviews of nettle describe it as a plant containing meaningful levels of minerals and micronutrients, often highlighting iron, calcium, and other nutrients, depending on processing and preparation. A mineral-focused study on
When the
nettle
kidneys
raw
are stressed,
and processed
the whole
reported
body
that
can
processed
start to
nettle
feel
can
out
be
of
a strong
balance.
source of nutrients, such as calcium and iron, and it discussed nettle's dietary value in. So for someone who feels depleted, nettle can feel like a gentle nourishment ritual, especially when it replaces sugary drinks. Why minerals matter in kidney disease, in everyday language. When kidneys are under stress, the whole body can start to feel off balance. People notice fatigue that doesn't match their sleep, weakness, heaviness, brain fog, and sometimes muscle cramps. Now, not all of that is minerals. Kidney disease has many causes of fatigue. But here's something that's absolutely real and commonly overlooked. Kidney disease can be associated with anemia because as kidney function declines, kidneys may make less erythropoietin, the signal your body uses to produce red blood cells. Fewer red blood cells means less oxygen delivery. Less oxygen delivery can feel like I'm tired even when I'm not doing much. So when people hear nettle helps anemia, they're often combining two ideas. Nettle contains iron and other nutrients, and anemia is common in CKD, so anything blood-building sounds appealing. Here's the careful, responsible way to say it in your script. Nettle tea is not a substitute for medical anemia treatment, but it can be a supportive, nourishing beverage in some people because nettle is described in the literature as nutrient-rich, including iron and vitamins. And the ritual itself, warm fluid early in the day, often helps people hydrate better, which is a foundational kidney supportive habit. The anti-inflammatory angle, why nettle, is still being studied. Beyond minerals, nettle is discussed in the scientific literature for potential anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. And as we've said throughout this video, chronic inflammation is one of the quiet forces that can contribute to kidney decline over time. So nettle's appeal is two-layered. A traditional diuretic support tea preparation. A plant discussed for its nutrient content and bioactive compounds. Stop starting your day with sugar, dehydration, and stimulant overload. Choose one beverage that supports hydration, circulation, blood pressure, inflammation control, or gentle urine flow based on your health profile. Keep it unsweetened and consistent. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one will you start with this week? Lemon water, hibiscus tea, green tea with ginger, or something else? And if you've had kidney stones, high potassium, or you're on blood pressure meds, tell me that too, and I'll help you think through the safest option to discuss with your doctor. If this video helped you, subscribe for more calm, science-backed kidney and blood pressure support for life after 55. And share this with a friend who starts their morning with juice or sweet coffee because this one small habit can make a bigger difference than most people realize.